Before you begin the installation of the hood, make sure it's completely clean. You may want to pressure wash it. Now, first I'll show you how to transfer the hood paint protection film from the roll onto the actual hood. And the way you do it is that you position the film on top of the hood and unfold a little bit. Make sure that it's pointing in the right direction. If it's not, turn it over and then unfold it. Next up, have a bottle with water and soap and start spraying the film on top. Once that's done, start peeling off the film from the adhesive backing. Start from one side, and as you peel, spray the adhesive side with soapy water, as well as the backing itself. Unfold this all the way to the middle. When one half is done, just put the film back onto the adhesive backing and repeat the same steps for the other side. Next up, roll the adhesive backing to the middle and then spray the hood with the soapy water. Now lay this half on top of the hood. And then the other half on top of the one that we put on the hood already, and you can remove the adhesive backing. Before I lay this half on the hood, I'll also spray with the soapy water. Next up, it's time to align the piece on top of the hood. So basically you need to align it in a way that it doesn't stick out from anywhere and it seems pretty centered everywhere you look at it. If it's not sliding easily on the hood, it means you didn't spray enough or it's getting dry. So you can open the paint protection film, like lift it up and respray. I've positioned the front so that I leave about 2 millimeters gap, and I'll squeegee just a little bit in the middle to put the film in place so it doesn't move that much anymore. The rest of this will be installation in two parts. I'll do the passenger part first, and then I'll do the driver's side. They're both the same. If you position the film properly, they're both the same. It's completely symmetrical. So I'll just show you one side, and you should just know that the other side is the same. So now we basically need to remove the water from under the film. Eventually you get to a point where it just becomes very difficult to get rid of all the wrinkles. So at this point, what I'd like to do is to use a heat gun to make the film a little bit softer, and I'll try to position it and stretch it a little bit to relieve it of this pressure. I'll try to distribute it any way I can, and let's see what happens. For this part, I've actually switched to the plastic squeegee, not the rubber one, because as I use the heat gun, the film becomes dry and then the rubber squeegee starts dragging on top instead of sliding. It became way too dry under the film, so I'll spray it again. You can also use a bottle of clean water if here at the curves the film is not sticking well. The clean water will wash away the soap and make it a lot easier to stick the film. So the clean water helped a great deal here, as well as the heat gun a little bit. But as you can see, with a lot of persistence and patience, this is doable, but it's in no way easy. So if you bought multiple paint protection films from us, leave this for dessert. Don't do this first. Basically, the way I've been doing this whole installation is that when I got to the point where we have a lot of pressure and it's very difficult to get rid of it, I used a heat gun to make the film softer. I used clean water to wash away the soap. And when things still don't work, I lifted the vinyl and squeegee at the place where there's just so much pressure that you can't squeegee it without creating a wrinkle. So it's a divide and conquer approach. Basically, you have to split the pressure into smaller parts, and hopefully it will just work out at the end. Now, the very end of the edges is relatively easy. First, spray with clean water to wash away the soap. Then you can use a heat gun, and you can also put the squeegee into a microfiber so that when you squeegee out, the water gets soaked into the microfiber. And I have the squeegee inside. And again, let me emphasize on the fact that this is not an easy installation. It's a very curvy hood, so it's rather challenging. Don't start with this. If you got multiple paint protection films from us, start with something simpler. Anything other than that is simpler. And also, when you start doing that, you should budget your time properly. Give it at least 1 hour to complete it. It could take even more. It's also important to note that Like for instance here, in the middle I have a bit of a wrinkle and the film is already dried up. So the only way to fix that is that you need to lift up the film a little bit and respray it. And then you can reapply it again. Also notice that for the most part, after the initial positioning, I've been using the plastic squeegee. We will provide both the rubber, the big rubber squeegee and the plastic one. But when it comes to dealing with the pressure, the curves, the plastic squeegee in my mind does a better job. The other half works absolutely the same way, but what you should know is that it's been about 20 minutes of me installing the passenger side. So this is almost completely dried up now. So before I can continue with the installation, what I need to do is to lift it up and respray. If you try to squeegee semi-wet paint protection film, you wouldn't like the results. You end up with a lot of air gaps, a lot of bubbles. It's gonna look terrible. So that's basically it. You can do the other side the same way you did this one. It just takes a lot of patience and time.